Okay, let's take a look at example 5 in section 1.4. Here we have a symbolic variable, and they're asking us find a rational number t for which the following system is consistent, and solve the system when t is this value. And so it'd be great if we could just do this like we did example 4, just throw it into Sage with all these you know, the 2, 0, and the t, and the 1 here, 1, 3, and 1, negative 1, negative 1. So I've set that up that way. And now to get the symbolic variable, we need to say var t, like this, in single quotes. And then we define our augmented matrix just like before, but see, I put a t right in there. And then I say, okay, let's get that reduced row echelon form and display the results. And we do that, and we get something very uninspiring that doesn't tell me anything about t. So this just kind of assumed that we could work with t. I'm not sure what Sage is assuming, but it's not good. Okay, so we can't do it this way. And so we have to attack it another way. We can still get it to do our calculations for us, but we have to tell it each calculation. So what I'm going to do is, instead of getting the reduced row echelon form of A, I'm going to get rid of that and say, let's just show A. Okay, and I say evaluate. And sure enough, that's the matrix A. And as I look at that matrix, what I want to do is let's look at the row operations. I would like to take row 2 minus row 1 and put it back into row 2. Great. Can we do that with Sage? And actually we can. And so notice up here I had hidden in comments ways to do our elementary row operations. So I can swap rows, I can rescale a row, so divide it or multiply it by something. Well, it's always multiply, but I can use the reciprocal. And then add a multiple of a row to another row. Well, that's what I want to do. I want to add a multiple of a row. So I'm going to do a Control C and copy and put that right there. And then I'm going to show A again. But now I have to tell it, well, what rows? And remember, what we want to do is start with this row here. And so you would like to do a row 2. That would be wrong. And that's just something you have to know, is that the first row is actually row 0 in Sage. So it starts counting at 0. So this is row 0, 1, and 2. So I want to start with the middle row, which is row 1, and add to that a multiple of the 0 row, and that multiple is negative 1. And let's see how we did. Right? If I did this right, my next matrix should have a 0 right there. So evaluate, and sure enough it does. Okay, so I've done one row operation. Now here I want to take negative 3 times this and add it to this row 2. So this is row 0. So I want to take row 2 plus negative 3 times row 0. And so I'll just copy that and paste it. So I use Control C to copy and Control V to paste. And so again, I want to use row 0 as the multiple, but here is row 2, and then I needed a minus 3 there, and I'll show the result again. So I start just getting a big list of matrices that I can go down and see what I've got. And so there I have it again. And so now in my reduced row formation, I would like to take this negative 2 and make it a 1. And so I need to rescale this row by -1/2. I need to multiply it by -1/2. And so to do the rescale, I have to come up here and find that. So Control C to copy that part. I'll come back down here, and I want to rescale the middle row, which is row 1 in this, and I want to multiply it by -1/2, and then I need to show that result, so I'll just copy that, Control C, come over here, enter, Control V, and evaluate. And I go down to my last matrix, and sure enough, I've got a 1 there. So now that I have that 1, I can make these two elements both 0. So what I want to do is take the row 0 up here, minus row 1, or plus -1 times row 1. And so that's again another one of these. So I'll Control C, Control V, and you know, this, in some ways I'm doing it by hand, but each of the calculations, all I have to do is think about what kind of elementary row operation I want, and then this calculates for me, and then I can check my work. So again, I want to start with row 0 and take -1 times row 1. Remember, that's so I wanted to take -1 times this row 1 and add it up here to row 0. So that's what I do. I evaluate, and I get that. Now, you know, I could have looked at both of these and done both commands at the same time. The second command to get rid of that -4 is I need to take 4 times this row 1 and add it to row 2. And so I could have actually copied and pasted this stuff twice and done the 2 commands and printed out 2 matrices. Let's see, so this is row 2, and I want to multiply row 1 by 4 and add that and evaluate. And so here I've gotten it to this, and this tells me what I need to know to make sure that this problem is consistent. So I've got a 0 there and a 0 here. Well, then to be consistent, t minus 2 has to be 0. So I would set t minus 2 equal to 0, solve for t, and get t equals 2. And if we come back to that example, you know, they got down to this same, well, they didn't get rid of the 1 up there, I did, but they have that t minus 2 here, and they say, well, hey, t can't, if t is not equal to 2, it's inconsistent. If it is equal to 2, then we get 0 equals 0, so it's consistent. And then we can finish solving it this way. Now I already did that, and you know, so I had, if t is equal to 2, we get 0 here, and I can tell you that x equals 1 and y equals 1. So I had that. And now actually you could go through and way back here, after I define t and I've done all this, if I just want to check to make sure, well, okay, what happens if t equals 2? Do I get that 0 equals 0 like I thought? I can come up here and explicitly say t equals 2 and evaluate again. And whoops, come back. Oh, something happened. Not sure. Did not expect that to be a problem. Let's see, t equals 2. It was happy here at first, and then, so you get an error. Says rescaling cannot be done over the integer ring. Rescaled row instead. I have no idea what that means. I would have to look that up. Oh, Yeah, I think the problem came in here. Let's see what we did after this one. So this was the first elementary row operation, the second, and it choked on the third one. So, and look at what we have here. We've got the -2, -2, and -4 and -4. So let's see what happened here at the third one. We said rescale by multiplying row 1 by -1/2. I don't know. I'm confused on that one. So I'll have to come back and try to figure that out. That'll happen once in a while. I'll get stuck by the technology and not be sure what the heck just happened. You know, because everything looks fine to me. It looks like it should work, and I'm not exactly sure. Let's see. You know, because it worked last time. I'm not exactly sure if it didn't like it on the, well, it had to be just that second row. So, or yeah, well, row 1. So I don't know. Sorry about that, but we'll end this video here with some failure, and so you see, you know, I can fail too. It won't be the last time I do. And I'll have to look into this and try to figure out what's wrong with that, and I'll try to let people know at some point somehow. Okay, but if we do not have that in there, everything worked wonderfully, and like I say, I'm not sure why it got fed up with that. So we'll end the video there on that successful note on this one, and I'll try to figure out why it didn't like the t = 2 at that point. All right.